In some ways, Trent Dilfer has a very impressive resume. Got it in front of me. 13 years in the NFL, the 6th overall pick in the 1994 NFL Draft. In his one season in Baltimore, he won a Super Bowl. And upon reflection, those are good things, but upon reflection, it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean this humbly with the utmost respect. I don't think that Trent Dilfer fully lived up to the hype of being the 6th overall pick. Being a top 10 pick. I don't think he ever, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers drafted him, used him for 6 years, and then got rid of him. They let him walk away. It's kind of, you didn't kill it. Not the way you wanted to. And I say this not to trash Trent Dilfer, a guy I respect and admire a lot. My guess is that there was a lot of pain there. Trent Dilfer's story is painful. Won a Super Bowl, that's awesome, but he never was the face of a franchise like everyone assumed he would be in the 1994 NFL Draft. I'm sure he has pain about his NFL career, and I learned recently that his son died years ago, 16 years ago now. His son was 5 years old, I think, maybe. The article I read said 5. Trent Dilfer's son died. Never knew that. I had no idea. My brother died once. Loss is terrible. All loss is terrible. It's just not good. It's not cool at all. And Trent Dilfer is now doing something I really, really admire and I respect. Trent Dilfer is now coaching high school football. And there's so much behind it that I'm excited to share. This is why this story is worth talking about to me. Les Carpenter wrote an article for the Washington Post all about Trent Dilfer now coaching high school football. And by the way, some background on Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer is, he's not only a high school football coach of a team, he does a thing called the Elite 11. The Elite 11 is a quarterback camp / competition during the summer. And that competition is actually how I met Trent Dilfer as a kid. I trained with him a couple times at camps. I was not at all one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. I trained with some of the best. I trained with, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. I was around guys like that, Blake Barnett. But Trent was really kind to me. Very, very, did not have any reason to be, but he was. He treated me like I mattered, even though I wasn't Ross Bowers, who was committed to Cal, even though I wasn't Ricky Town, committed to Arkansas or USC at the time. And he didn't need to. Again, wasn't the biggest. Trent Dilfer still treated me like I mattered. Still gave me time and coached me up. And I was always impressed with that. And here's what stood out to me about this article. I don't mean to make this about me at all. I did, but not my goal. By most accounts, Trent Dilfer's done really cool stuff in his life. Trent Dilfer, again, won a Super Bowl as a quarterback. Has coached some of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Worked with Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, all these guys Andrew Luck, did big stuff. He worked with them when they were in high school. Played 13 years in the NFL, and then he worked for ESPN as an analyst. Trent Dilfer, the list of stuff is really cool. Looks great on paper. But the article I read about Trent Dilfer on the Washington Post talked about how once his job at ESPN ended, Trent Dilfer was fired by ESPN in the layoff process. Remember, they laid off a bunch of people. He was one of the people that got laid off. And he said that when he got fired by ESPN, he felt like, he was hanging out for a while, had a good life, money. He's getting paid not to work. He's got a house on a lake. But he felt like he wasn't doing anything meaningful with his life. Again, when ESPN fired him in mass layoffs, they had to keep paying him. He was under contract, just being paid not to work. He was just hanging out. And here's a quote from Trent Dilfer I want to read that I just very, very much love. Trent Dilfer said this. He said, "There was no nobility in my television life. There was nothing purposeful in it. It was all ambition and financially driven. And that's okay, but that's not who I was. That's not what I wanted to become. I didn't want to become a 47-year-old man whose career didn't have an impact." Man, the depth in that thing, and I've met Trent. He's honest about his struggles. He's very honest about he makes fun of himself about his failures in the NFL. Well, now he's a head football coach at Lipscomb Academy in Nashville. It's Lipscom. You pronounce that however you want. I have no idea. Very small school. I mean, this is a school in 2016, they had 1,262 kids, but that's not just a high school. That's spread out between as early as before kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So do the math. What's a third of that? His high school population could be as small as 400 kids, 300 maybe. And it's weird to me for Trent Dilfer to choose a tiny Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, what the heck? But hey, that's where Trent Dilfer's heart called him. It's where he felt he could be successful, clearly. And if you follow him on social media, he's passionate about this school. He loves it. He loves coaching, loves being around the kids. And I read this article, I was like, oh, there's reasons behind this. And I'm rooting for him because the reasons behind this are he felt like his past failures, he really struggled with them. He struggled with losing his son. He struggled with not being good enough in the NFL. And he wanted to do something that mattered. He wanted to work with kids. He wanted to help people. And I love that. It seems like this is a guy who's fueled by pain and fueled by a desire to do something good in the world. And I admire that. It seems like he wants to make an impact. He doesn't use this language in the article. Something I say to myself sometimes is, will you feel good about what you're doing 20 years from now? It's why I moved from my old college to my new college. It's why I'm dating the girl I'm dating. I was like, man, I know that this is what I will feel best about 20 years from now. I won't have regrets. And I hope that this left turn in life for Trent Dilfer is something he finds fulfilling, because it seems like he's doing that. He's doing something that he believes in, that he can find meaning in and find meaningful and fulfilling. And I just, I applaud that. Trent Dilfer, if you're watching, you're not. But if you are, I have a lot of respect and admiration. I'd love to have you on the show. Big fan of you. You were very nice to me in high school. And I just really admire and respect what Trent Dilfer's doing and taking a step away from what everyone else is doing. It's really easy to be motivated by things you want yourself. And it's really cool to see a guy who is motivated by more than making money, wanting to make an impact, fueled by the pain of the past. His son dying, fired by ESPN, not good enough in the NFL. I just, a lot of respect. I just really thought that was a cool story worth sharing. And Trent Dilfer, I'm rooting for you. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports, and it is my favorite thing in the entire world. I love it. It is my dream to do this show, and it's my full-time job. And if you want to help support me, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Share this on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, I don't care. Screenshot it, put it on your Instagram story. Do me a giant favor. Help me grow by telling your friends about the show. That's the number one way you can help me no matter what. Another way you can help me, if you want, you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. It's a huge help to me. My PayPal is paypal.me/Zach Schaumler. My Patreon account is patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. If you have no money to give, no problem. I totally understand. I'm a broke college kid myself. I get it. I've been there. But please, I ask, if you want to support me, the number one thing you can do to help me is tell your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so much, and have a great day.